In a world where chatbots hand out indispensable knowledge and pearls of screen reader wisdom,
Okay, stop that right now. Mr. Bryan left me in charge.
Us in charge. Us.
Oh, yeah, right. I meant to say Mr. Bryan left us in charge for this episode, and is already going way off the rails.
in a world where a fake movie announcer feels bad about the drama,
Right, let's get on to some business. Basic iPhone settings for the VoiceOver user. Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we're going to take a tour through some basic iPhone settings, all from the perspective of a VoiceOver user. Everything we'll be doing today will take place in the Settings app, so let's get ready to navigate and customize your device to fit your needs. Now, let's open the Settings app on your home screen. If you're not sure where it is, you can swipe through your apps or use Spotlight Search by performing a 3-finger swipe down on the home screen and typing or dictating Settings in the search field. Once you've found it, double tap to open. We'll start with the Apple account page, which is the very first option at the top of the Settings app. This is where you manage your Apple ID, iCloud settings, and security. When you double tap your name here, you'll see options like Sign In and Security and iCloud. Let's start with Sign In and Security. Here, you can change your Apple ID password, set up 2-factor authentication, and manage trusted devices.
it's like the bouncer for your Apple account, checking IDs and everything.
Oh, stop that. You're going to scare people into thinking their Apple ID needs a bodyguard. Next, let's check out iCloud. This is where you manage what gets stored in iCloud, such as photos, contacts, and backups. VoiceOver users can navigate through the toggle switches to enable or disable features as needed. For example, you might want to make sure iCloud Backup is turned on, so your data is automatically backed up. This is also a great way to access your backup settings and make sure you are saving your backups to iCloud. And remember, folks, an iCloud backup is like a digital parachute. You might not think about it until you're falling, but boy, will you be glad it's there. Now, let's head back to the main settings screen and swipe down to battery settings. If you're running iOS 18, there's an update here worth noting. Battery health and charging now includes a feature called Optimized Battery Charging to extend the lifespan of your battery by learning your charging habits. VoiceOver will announce all these options, and you can double tap to explore them further. If you use low power mode often, you can even add it to your control center for quick access, but we'll get to that later.
Optimized battery charging, because even your iPhone battery deserves a spa day.
Next, let's visit General Settings. Double tap to open, and you'll see several sub-pages here. First is About, which gives you detailed information about your device, like the serial number and available storage. This is particularly useful if you're on the phone with Apple support or troubleshooting an issue. Next is Software Update, where you'll check for and install the latest iOS updates. VoiceOver makes this process simple by guiding you through the prompts. Updates often include new features, bug fixes, and security improvements, so keeping your software up to date is important. Think of Software Update as giving your phone a brain upgrade. It gets smarter every time. Back on the General Settings page, you'll find iPhone storage. This page breaks down how your storage is being used, with categories like apps, photos, and messages. Use 3-finger swipes to scroll and explore the details. You can also offload unused apps here, which frees up space without deleting your data. Perfect if you're always running out of room. And finally, let's talk about transferring or resetting your iPhone, which is useful if you're upgrading to a new device or need to reset your phone to factory settings. VoiceOver will read all the options so you'll know exactly what you're selecting. Just make sure you've backed up your data before resetting. Back on the main settings page, let's move on to Siri and Search, where there are several options important for VoiceOver users to be able to control how much information VoiceOver verbalizes to us. One feature you might want to enable is Announce Calls, which lets Siri announce who's calling. Another is Announce Notifications, where Siri reads notifications aloud through your AirPods or compatible headphones. And don't forget to ensure Siri always verbalizes replies by enabling spoken responses. This ensures you hear Siri's answers rather than just seeing them on the screen. Siri, the personal assistant who talks more than you do. What's not to love? Now let's head to display and brightness settings and look at auto lock. This setting determines how long your screen stays on before locking and going to sleep. For many VoiceOver users, a longer auto lock time can be helpful to avoid interruptions. You can adjust this to your preference by swiping through the options and double tapping to select. Make sure that if you use the Never option for auto lock, that you also turn on the screen curtain with a 3-finger triple tap so your battery doesn't drain from powering the screen.
Because nobody wants to be that person, the one with a pocket flashlight for a phone.
For iPhone SE users, let's talk about Touch ID and passcode. If you haven't set up Touch ID yet, you'll want to add your fingerprint here. VoiceOver will guide you through the process as you lift and rest your finger on the home button repeatedly as your phone learns your fingerprint. Be sure that you don't press the home button when it is learning your fingerprint, or you will return to your home screen. You'll also need to use a passcode when you want to use Touch ID, and the default option for a new passcode is a 6-digit code, but you can opt for a 4-digit one if you prefer. Keep in mind that you'll need your passcode to unlock your phone after it restarts, or if Touch ID fails. You can also use Touch ID for other features, like approving App Store purchases or unlocking secure apps, which is a handy shortcut for VoiceOver users. Think of Touch ID as a digital handshake, except, with your fingerprint. Before we wrap up, let's look at the control center. One way to access the control center is to perform a 3-finger swipe up after placing focus on the status bar. VoiceOver makes navigating the control center easy by announcing each item. To customize it, go back to the Settings app and find Control Center. Here, you can add or remove items like low power mode, screen recording, or voice memos. This is especially useful for keeping frequently used features just a swipe away. Great. How about some practical tips before we go? 1. Use Spotlight Search. If navigating through settings feels overwhelming, use Spotlight Search to find the exact setting you need quickly. 2. Keep Auto Lock. Appropriate. Adjust Auto Lock to a longer duration if you need more time to navigate your screen. 3. Test Touch ID or Face ID. Make sure your biometric security works smoothly, and always have a backup passcode ready. 4. Explore iPhone storage. Regularly check iPhone storage to clear unnecessary files and keep your device running smoothly. 5. Keep software updated. Always check for the latest iOS updates to ensure you have the newest features and security enhancements. And there you have it. In this lesson, we explored the Apple account page, battery updates in iOS 18, essential settings under General, Siri options, Auto Lock, Touch ID, and the Control Center. Take some time to explore these settings and make adjustments that suit your needs. As always, VoiceOver will guide you every step of the way. Great job, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Oh, hello there. I'll bet you thought I forgot. You did, didn't you? Well, I never forget. Why did the Touch ID sensor start a band? Because it wanted to leave its fingerprints all over the music industry.
Yabba, dap dap.
Oh, no, not that again. We'll see you next time when we go into greater detail on using Touch ID and Face ID. See you then.
More Devo next time, please.